Chapter 31 Drunken Linglong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Suddenly Du Mengnan saw the word filial piety on Zhao Xinyu's left arm. Although there were differences in customs between the north and the south, everyone knew what it meant. Zhao Xinyu once said that there was only one grandfather in the family, so now. Zhao Xinyu, you. Zhao Xinyu sighed slightly, Grandpa fell. Du Mengnan and the others sighed quietly, and everyone nodded to Zhao Xinyu to express comfort. Although they had not been in contact with Zhao Xinyu for too long, they did not have any bad feelings towards this young man. On the contrary, they all admire this guy who doesn't talk much. Whatever you are going to eat, I will prepare it right now. Whatever, thinking that something had just happened at Zhao Xinyu's house, Du Mengnan didn't force it and said casually. You guys clean up this place, I'll go get ready. Just like yesterday, during lunch, Du Mengnan and the others were shocked by the delicious wild vegetables. When Zhao Xinyu came over with a jar of medicinal wine and opened the seal on the medicinal wine, Du Mengnan was dumbfounded. Zhao Xinyu didn't know Du Mengnan's true identity, but she was indeed the actual controller of Pengcheng Hotel. She had a good background and she had never seen any kind of wine. With an extraordinary background, she also has some knowledge of wine culture. She has seen and tasted wine that produces wine mist, but she knows that medicinal wine that produces wine mist may not be available even if you have money, and now she saw in this compound that Zhao Xinyu, who owned medicinal wine, was born in a poor family. When he was in college, he even had to deliver food and pick up waste to earn living expenses. However, such a family had medicinal wine that could produce alcohol mist. This she couldn't understand, that a jar of such medicinal wine could enable him to live a life that ordinary people would envy during his 5-year college career. This medicinal wine was really brewed by your grandfather. Although shocked, Du Mengnan still couldn't believe it. Seeing Du Mengnan's reaction, Zhao Xinyu knew in his heart that Du Mengnan must understand. He smiled faintly, nodded, and gave Du Mengnan a small cup. Try it and see how it tastes. Du Mengnan picked up the wine glass and shook it slightly. Then there was a hint of horror in her eyes. After taking a small sip, she closed her eyes to wash away the taste of the medicinal wine. After a long time, she opened her eyes and looked at Zhao Xinyu. Zhao Xinyu, what is the name of this medicinal wine? I will give you 100,000, how about you sell it to me? As soon as Du Mengnan said this, Zhao Xinyu and Umo couldn't help but exclaim. They all have extraordinary family backgrounds, and they also know something about wine. You must know that the best wine in the country is Wuliangye. Mutai, but the price of a bottle will not reach such a price. Meng, what kind of wine is this? Let's try it too. Umo was the first to speak, and at the same time reached out to grab Zhao Xinyu, for fear that Zhao Xinyu would give the wine jar to Du Mengnan. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, if you don't take the cup, why are you arresting me? Umo's pretty face turned red and she chuckled, I'm not afraid that you will sell the wine. You don't know that Meng is the stingiest person. If this wine gets into her hands, we won't even be able to smell it. Zhao Xinyu laughed loudly and poured a small cup for each of Umo and the other 4. Then he looked at Du Mengnan and said, I still have a few jars in stock. I will give you one as a gift when you leave. Zhao Xinyu does love money, but he knows that when there was no market for vegetables in his compound, it was Du Mengnan who came to him, and that's how he came to be. Now, he will not be stingy with people who have helped him, which is why last night he will take out the medicinal wine for Han Tianliang and others to taste. He thought so, but Du Mengnan was different. She knew the price of this medicinal wine. She had also helped Zhao Xinyu before, and she had bought many things in Zhao Xinyu's home. But compared to her own expenses, the value of this medicinal wine was much more than what you spend. No, this wine is too expensive, I can't afford it. Zhao Xinyu chuckled and said, give me $1,080, otherwise I won't be able to ask for it anymore after a while. Okay, Du Mengnan bit her lip and nodded with a complicated look. She felt a little curious about Zhao Xinyu. He didn't need 100,000 but only wanted 1,080. Who was this guy? During the meal, although Du Mengnan and the others were all girls, because the medicinal wine tasted so good, everyone drank about half a caddy. In the process of drinking, this unnamed medicinal wine was also given a nice name, Zhao Linglong. Of course, the name of this wine was researched by several girls, and Zhao Xinyu almost didn't say anything about it. After dinner, Zhao Xinyu was not stingy. Each of Du Mengnan and the other 5 got a jar of medicinal wine. Du Mengnan was fine with it, but Umo and the others were ecstatic. They never thought that Zhao Xinyu would give each of them a jar, although they received 1,080 yuan, but they all knew in their hearts that it was impossible to buy a jar or even a pound of this 1,080 yuan. Just as Zhao Xinyu sent Du Mengnan and the others away, Lu Ming came back in a hurry. Zhao Xinyu felt that Lu Ming's face was full of anger. What's wrong? Xinyu, all the cattle and sheep of our 5 families have been poisoned to death. It must be that bastard Zhao Ximing. Han Jun and the others have already gone to look for Zhao Ximing. It seems that something is going to happen. You should hurry over and take a look. Zhao Xinyu's expression changed. Zaihanling has not been developed, so people still live with their faces facing the lus and their backs turned to the sky. For the villagers, cattle and sheep are capital for their children to find wives and buy houses. And because Lu Ming and the others have reached the point of discussing marriage, each family has a lot of cattle and sheep. Now he was poisoned, which was a blow to any of their families, but Zhao Xinyu also knew that the angry Han Jun and the others might dare to come out, so he left the compound without any hesitation. In Zhao Ximing's home, there was a bang, and Zhao Ximing slapped a yellow-haired man on the face. You wanna fucking kill me? Let you punish them, just kill one in both. Ends, who the hell wants to do that? You poisoned all the cattle and sheep. Huang Mao took 2 steps back, covered his red and swollen face, and Nuonyo said, Brother Zhao, you don't want them to know the consequences of offending us. Besides, I didn't use a large dose, just a few handfuls of corn, but don't worry, I did this very cleanly, no one will notice for sure. At this moment, the closed door was suddenly kicked open, and Zhao Ximing and others' expressions suddenly changed. They saw Han Jun, Han Li, Huang Jijun, and Chai Jinquan. Wang Yulong and the other 5 angrily entered the yard carrying sticks. Remember, if we admit it this time, we will have to sit still for several years. When Zhao Ximing left the yard, Han Tianliang, Wang Ai and the others also chased in panting. After seeing Han Tianliang and the others, Zhao Ximing felt a little more at ease. Han Jun, what do you want to do? While he was speaking, the little yellow-haired men who had been following him also jumped into the courtyard with sticks in their hands. Zhao Ximing, you are still pretending to be a good person. Who else but you would do such a thing that is so harmful to the world and annihilate your descendants? 120 sheep and 16 cows, I will kill you. At this moment, Han Jun was red-eyed. Among the 5, they had suffered the most losses. They originally planned to sell their cattle and sheep in autumn so that they could get married. Now that all the cattle and sheep were poisoned, how could he endure it? Seeing Han Jun and Han Li whose eyes turned red, Zhao Ximing also felt fear in his heart. If the 2 of them went crazy, as long as they made a move, the next 3 would definitely make a move. Even Han Tianliang and the others might not be able to do it. Stop! Han Tianliang and his wife tried their best to stop their son. They knew that if Han Jun and the others took action, Zhao Ximing would also be disabled. In that case, their son would be doomed. Han Jun, Han Li, don't do anything. At this time, Zhao Xinyu and Lu Ming also rushed over, and they stopped Han Jun and Han Li. Xinyu, they must be these bastards. I'm going to chop them up one by one today. Han Jun's words finally made the always arrogant Zhao Ximing and others change their minds. They could see that Han Jun was really murderous. They could act rogue. But when encountering such a thing, don't be afraid that it is fake. Han Jun, the police will be here soon. They will give us an explanation. If it is really them, they will wait to be put behind bars. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 32 Worry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. As Ship Pui finished speaking, sirens sounded in the distance. When the frightened Zhao Xinyu and others heard the sound, their eyes instantly showed a hint of excitement. They knew that at least they were not in much danger, but then he thought that this time they'd poison not 1 or 2 sheep, but dozens of sheep and more than a dozen cows. Zhao Xinyu's heart began to beat. He knew that if they really investigated and found out, it wouldn't take 3 to 5 years. Don't let them think about it. Now Zhao Xinyu is a little regretting how he could have made such a decision while drunk. He just wanted to punish Zhao Xinyu, but he did not expect that things would develop to this point. Although Han Jun and the others were furious, they all kept to themselves. After hearing the siren, they threw away the sticks in their hands. Zhao Xinyu picked up the sticks and left the yard. At this moment, a large number of villagers had gathered outside the yard. Subsequently, Han Li, Han Jun, Zhao Xinyu and others were taken away, and many villagers near the incident site were also taken away for questioning. Where Zhao Xinyu was, he also knew that 5 cattle and sheep of Han Tianliang and his family were poisoned by Zhao Xinyu and his companions, and it was also because he was implicated. So after the incident happened, he took out 300,000, and each family gave 60,000, and when this news spread, the entire Shihan Ridge was shocked. 60,000 yuan was a huge sum of money for most of them, and Zhao Xinyu paid so much money to compensate 5 families at once, which made them feel guilty. Everyone was full of admiration for Zhao Xinyu. Many villagers were depressed. They also knew that Zhao Xinyu, who had been living in Su Ning's place, was just a cripple who picked up scraps and delivered food. Many of them looked down on him, but now that Zhao Xinyu has become prosperous, he has given the people who helped him a stable job that is envied by everyone. After the incident, he also subsidized them according to the market price. Which boss would not want to do this? More people are filled with regret. If they had treated Zhao Xinyu like Han Tianliang and others, perhaps their lives would have undergone substantial changes at the moment. 1 day later, Han Jun and Han Li were in prison for causing trouble, but there was no news that Zhao Xinyu and the others had anything to do with them. But just when Han Jun and the others came out, news came that Zhao Mingming and the others had become criminal suspects and had been prosecuted. The news spread in the village, and everyone in the village was cursing Zhao Xinyu and his group. If they said they were stealing in the village, the villagers would turn a blind eye, but this time it was different. Dozens of sheep and more than 10 cows were worth more than 300,000 yuan. Although they were 5 families, 4 villagers in a village like them, they had several years of income. The villagers cursed Zhao Xinyu and the others, and Zhao Xinyu and his elders were hiding at home. They knew what their sons had done in the village over the years, and they didn't want to go out and be criticized by people. More than half a month later, news came again that the little ruffian who poisoned Zhao Xinyu took the responsibility himself. He was sentenced to 8 years. Zhao Xinyu and the others were only sentenced to more than 1 year for the crime of harboring. This news made the villagers who had just calmed down in the village feel uncomfortable. Every time Zhao Xinyu came out, he would get worse. They didn't know what trouble Zhao Xinyu would make a year later. The night they learned the news, a group of people were eating under the grape trellis. Han Tianliang and the other older generations were uneasy. They were also worried about how Zhao Xinyu would retaliate against them when he came out a year later. Xinyu, maybe you don't understand Zhao Xinyu. He will definitely take revenge next year. Han Jun's eyes turned cold. Dad, I'm afraid of what he will do. If he dares to do anything to Xinyu, I will kill him. After they came out, Han Jun and the others knew that Zhao Xinyu had given their family enough compensation, which made them heartbroken. They are grateful to Zhao Xinyu. In their hearts, whoever dares to touch Zhao Xinyu is their enemy. Zhao Xinyu smiled faintly. Han Jun, don't fight and kill all day long. We live in a country ruled by law. Every person is protected by the law. As long as we are careful and don't leave him any chance, he doesn't dare to do anything to us, don't even think about anything. It took more than a year for him to come out and pay back. Besides, without those little ruffians, he, Zhao Xinyu, can't make much of a commotion by himself. With these words, Han Tianyang and the others felt a little relieved. Xinyu, I have already arranged the things you asked me to do. He will send fish fry and river crabs tomorrow. By the way, he also has black fish fry there, which are expensive. After a while, he asked us if we wanted it, and if we wanted it, they would give it to us at a cheaper price. Blackfish, Zhao Xinyu was slightly stunned. He had never heard of blackfish, so he didn't even know what blackfish was. Seeing the change in Zhao Xinyu's expression, Hanli laughed and said, Xinyu, snakehead fish is also a freshwater fish, and it tastes better than herring and carp. The price of snakehead fish on the market now is about 20 or 30 yuan, but it is a carnivorous fish. They specialize in eating fish and shrimps. So if you want to stock it, you must separate the snakehead fish from other fish. Zhao Xinyu's eyes flickered a few times. Grandpa Han, let's not get rid of Heiyu for the time being. Let's try to see the market first. The next day, before Zhao Xinyu got up, Han Tianyang and the others came to knock on the door. After opening the door, he saw a large truck parked on the road leading to Luoshui, and Han Li and the others were busy there. When he was waiting for it, he saw boxes of 1-inch sized fry being put into the Luoshui River. Perhaps because there was space in the Luoshui River, the fry did not adapt at all after entering the water. They even began to fight for the floating fish. Vegetable leaves on the water. After releasing the river crabs, Zhao Xinyu saw Han Li and the others unloading several boxes from the car. The boxes were filled with densely packed shrimps. Grandpa Han, this is. A middle-aged man in his 40s chuckled and stretched out his hand. I am Feng Bo. River crabs are omnivores. These shrimps are a gift from me. The water quality here looks good. If you need anything in the future, let Lao Han contact me. Zhao Xinyu nodded and shook his hand. Thank you very much. I will transfer the total amount to you. After sending Feng Bo away, Hanli locked the iron door and the group returned to the courtyard. Hanli glanced at the gap in the east wall and said, Xinyu, there are fish in Luoshui now. Leave someone here in the courtyard. Zhao Xinyu nodded. Hanli, which of you knows how to swim? Hanli laughed and said, none of the people here know how to deal with it. Zhao Xinyu nodded, and suddenly he thought that Han Li and the others were too busy working on the preserved vegetables. Even Han Tianyang and the others were helping there. If there was one less person, the area would definitely be busier. Grandpa Han, how about we find another person in the village, first of all from a poor family. He will come here to feed the fish and pick vegetables. Let's see if there is a suitable candidate. Han Tianyang's eyes flickered a few times. If you say that, I am thinking of someone. Wang Ai chuckled and said, Old Han, you are talking about Jingmin, right? Han Tianyang nodded and then looked at Zhao Xinyu. Xinyu, Jingmin is the poorest family in our village. Her husband has been paralyzed in bed for 5 or 6 years and only left last year. Jingmin has always taken care of her. There are also 2 parents-in-law who are over 80 years old. Their children have just entered the 3rd grade. Someone advised her to remarry, but she couldn't leave her parents-in-law behind, so. Zhao Xinyu frowned. He could tell that Jingmin must be a woman. Grandpa Han, you know how to feed fish. You don't know how to drink water. Don't worry. Jingmin's family lives by the sea. She has been fishing with her father since she was a child. Her water skills are not comparable to ordinary people. Don't worry if you ask her to come over and feed the fish. Nothing will happen. Zhao Xinyu nodded. Okay, it's her. She has old people and children at home. I'll give her 4,800 yuan a month first. As soon as Zhao Xinyu said this, Han Tianyang and the others were stunned, but they nodded immediately. They all knew that hiring a person to feed fish and pick vegetables would be a job for 3,000 people, and no one knew how many people were vying to do it. Now, Zhao Xinyu gave 4,800 yuan, obviously wanting to help Jingmin. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 33 Good Guy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. More than 20 minutes later, Han Tianliang came in with a woman. The woman was not tall, about 1.6 meters tall. Different from other women, Jingmin's complexion was wheat-colored, and she was wearing very ordinary clothes, with a few spots with this patch. After entering, she stood behind Han Tianliang, but it could be seen from her expression that Jingmin was very excited. Jingmin, that's Xinyu. I told you just now, be diligent. You have to know that even a middle-aged person can be hired for 4,800 yuan a month. This is all for Xinyu to take care of you. Jingmin walked out from behind Han Tianliang and whispered, from now on, I will take care of everything in this courtyard. I can also cook and wash clothes. Seeing Jingmin's look, Zhao Xinyu nodded, you are older than me, so I will call you Sister Min. There is a washing machine at home, and there is not much to do in a day, that is, feeding the fish, sweeping the yard, and eating preserved vegetables. If you need vegetables, let's help pick some here. I heard that you have old people and children at home. Where do the children go to school? Alas, Han Tianliang sighed, all the children in the family who are slightly better off have gone to the city. Her family is in a special situation and her children study well, but they can only stay in the village because of family reasons. Where are the 2 old men? They are quite energetic. Zhao Xinyu's eyes flickered for a few times. Let's do this, Sister Min, you go back and discuss with the old man, let the children and old people eat here, and when they are fine, they can walk around Luoshui and don't let the children in the village fall in. I'll give you another 2,000 yuan a month. Jingmin was a little confused at this time. They were all eating here, and they were just walking around Luoshui. They paid 2,000 to keep people out of Luoshui. This was really beyond his expectation. Uncle Han, look. That's it. I'm going to tell them that there are fish in Luoshui now, and we can't let anything happen to the children in the village. Jingmin nodded excitedly, 6,080 a month, which she didn't dare to think about. You guys haven't had breakfast, I'll do it right away. Sister-in-law, your cooking skills are not as good as Xinyu's. Jingmin was stunned. She looked at Zhao Xinyu with a hint of embarrassment on her face. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, Sister Min, don't listen to their nonsense. They are just used to the taste I make. You can watch me make it these days, and I will teach you. After a few days, they will get used to it. Jingmin's family went to work in the compound, and the news of a monthly salary of 6,800 yuan once again caused a sensation in the village. People were envious of Jingmin's good luck, but they also knew from Han Tianliang that Zhao Xinyu was doing this to help Jingmin. This made people who originally had opinions about Zhao Xinyu begin to recognize Zhao Xinyu again. They also expected that if Zhao Xinyu became a servant, they would be next. Zhao Ximing and the others were not in the village, and the village suddenly became quiet, and the preserved vegetable business was booming again. With Jingmin's family here in the compound, Zhao Xinyu was completely liberated. In his spare time, Zhao Xinyu began to study the essence of the golden chamber left to him by his grandfather. After studying it, Zhao Xinyu was filled with shock. He originally thought that after 5 years of systematic study and more than 10 years of teaching from his grandfather, his Chinese medicine skills would have reached the level of proficiency. However, after studying the essence of the golden chamber, he felt like a frog in a well. The essentials of the golden chamber is different from the essentials of the golden chamber. In addition to the essence of the golden chamber, it also records more complex cases, prescriptions, diagnosis and treatment methods that are not recorded in other ancient medical books. As for these records, Zhao Xinyu only heard some from his grandfather, and others were not recorded at all in other ancient medical books. After a period of time, Zhao Xinyu felt that his level of traditional Chinese medicine had changed and improved a lot every day, and he also had a new understanding of ancient traditional Chinese medicine. During this period of time, Du Mengnan and the others also came over from time to time. All the scars on Yumo's face had disappeared, and everyone still looked radiant without applying makeup. Sister Min, I want to eat fish today. I will go out and buy a fish later. During this period, under the guidance of Zhao Xinyu, Jingmin's cooking skills were also improving day by day. Although the dishes she made were more delicious than not as good as Zhao Xinyu, but at least he can do it. Du Mengnan and the others also knew about Jingmin's situation. While they sympathized with Jingmin's family, they also became familiar with Jingmin. Every time they came over, Du Mengnan would order food and Jingmin would cook it. Jingmin thought Du Mengnan was Zhao Xinyu's real girlfriend. Sister Min, don't go out to buy. I saw a lot of crucian carp in Luoshui, about half a catty. Let's eat crucian carp today. Jingmin was stunned for a moment, with a trace of embarrassment on his face. Xinyu, you also know that in our place, there are many crucian carp spines, and there are not many people willing to eat them. I won't do it. Yes, Sister Min is right, crucian carp has so many spines, how can you eat it? Du Mengnan curled his lips. Umo chuckled and looked at Zhao Xinyu, you are really stupid. The mistress has already spoken, but you still dare to resist. These words made Du Mengnan and Zhao Xinyu blush at the same time, but during this period, Yuma and the others made fun of them many times. Du Mengnan chased and beat them at first, but now he is used to it, and at most he blushes. Zhao Xinyu shook his head, you will know after it is cooked and you eat it. I will go fishing right now. Sister Min, you cut a melon for them. Xinyu, I'll catch him. Through this period of time, Jingmin also knew that Zhao Xinyu was an out-and-out landlubber. The water depth in Luoshui was now almost 2 meters deep, so if he fell down, Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, Sister Min, don't worry, you don't need to go near the water to have vegetable leaves. Just have a fishing net. Jingmin was slightly startled and nodded. In fact, she was still a little confused. The fish in Luoshui liked to eat the vegetable leaves in the courtyard. Many times, Hanli and the others had nothing to do when fishing. The bait they bought could not catch any fish, so they could hang it casually. You can definitely catch a piece of vegetable leaf. In just over 10 minutes, Du Mengnan and the others who were eating melon saw Zhao Xinyu coming back with a bucket. A group of people were trying to get over. They saw more than 20 crucian carp rolling in the bucket, weighing nearly 7 or 8 tails. Compared to Du Mengnan and the others' surprise, Jingmin had a trace of doubt in her eyes. She fed fish every day and knew that the fish in Luoshui grew very fast. But it seems that I have never seen such a big crucian carp. It's rare to see such a big crucian carp, Jingmin said with a smile amid doubts. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, yes, but the quantity is not large. By the way, I just saw 2 or 3 kilograms of herring and grass carp. Let's try it someday. No, I don't eat crucian carp, I want to eat herring, Du Mengnan said with a pout. When you eat it, if you think the crucian carp is not delicious, I will make herring for you. Umo and others shook their heads and sighed together, don't you stop showing affection in front of us, please take care of our feelings, okay? Damn Yuma, you're looking for a fight. This time Du Mengnan's pretty face turned red and he jumped to chase Yuma. Zhao Xinyu greeted Jingmin, and the two of them went to the specially decorated kitchen. Xinyu, your cooking skills were really taught to you by your grandfather. Looking at Zhao Xinyu's skillful techniques, Jingmin couldn't help but ask. She didn't know how many times she had asked this question. Grandpa used to be a cook. When he got older, he picked me up and had no time to go out. He has a bad taste and will definitely be scolded if he doesn't cook well. With your cooking skills, it would be a pity not to become a chef. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, Sister Min, making crucian carp is actually very simple. Just look at it and tell me if there is anything you don't understand. While talking, Zhao Xinyu heated up the oil in a pan. When the oil temperature reached 80%, he put the cut crucian carp into the oil pan, fried the crucian carp until both sides were brown, took it out, and marinated it in the prepared seasoning. After marinating for almost half an hour, he took out the crucian carp and turned on the fire again. To Zheng Min's surprise, Zhao Xinyu did not pour water into the pot, but poured a few cans of beer, put the crucian carp in, and started adding every time he added seasonings. He would take a break and tell Zheng Min what effect the seasonings would have. The whole process only took a few minutes. Zhao Xinyu looked at Zheng Min and said, "How about it, make it simple. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises." Chapter 34 Stewed Crucian Carp. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Zheng Min's eyes flickered a few times. It's simple, but I don't know how it tastes. Zhao Xinyu laughed, covered the pot, and said, "After the steam comes out, cook over high heat for 15 minutes. After saying this, Zhao Xinyu returned to his room, closed the door, and began to study the essence of the golden chamber. More than 10 minutes later, Zhao Xinyu heard chattering outside. Du Mengnan and the others all went to the kitchen. Zhao Xinyu put the essence of the golden chamber into the space, and he followed him out. Du Mengnan and the others had been at the grape trellis, and they also wanted to come over to see if the crucian carp was cooked, but as soon as they arrived at the simple room, a unique fragrance attracted them. Although it was just a fragrance, a few of them started to go crazy. Swallow, entering the kitchen, Du Mengnan looked at Zheng Min. "Sister Min, what did you do?" She didn't realize that Zheng Min was also in a daze at this moment, but her expression was full of intoxication. When there was a child, she went fishing with her father. She had never eaten any kind of fish. In her impression, the best freshwater fish were not as good as ordinary sea fish. During the time she came to the compound, she had never seen Zhao Xinyu cooking fish. "So I don't know what the fish made by Zhao Xinyu tastes like." Zheng Min didn't agree with what Zhao Xinyu said just now. She was convinced of Zhao Xinyu's cooking skills, but she didn't think that Zhao Xinyu could make the crucian carp that almost no one eats here taste better than sea fish. But after the air came out, Zheng Min was surprised by the unique smell. As the air came out, Zheng Min was deeply shocked. She could feel that there was no fishy smell in the fragrance. This smell made her feel intoxicated. If it weren't for Zhao Xinyu's instructions, she would have opened the pot to taste the crucian carp that made her unbearable the temptation of the aroma. It wasn't until Du Mengnan spoke that Zheng Min reacted. She pointed to the steaming pot and said, "The crucian carp made by Xinyu smells good. Get me one, I want to try it," Du Mengnan said softly. As soon as she said this, Yuma and the others who followed her also immediately agreed. "You are not saying that you don't eat crucian carp. Crucian carp has many spines and will get stuck in your throat if you eat it." These words made Du Mengnan and the others blush and roll their eyes. "Xinyu, it's been more than 10 minutes. Zhao Xinyu looked at his phone and said, "Stew for another 3 minutes." 3 minutes usually passed by in a blink of an eye, but because of the unbearable fragrance, these 3 minutes felt like 3 long years. Every few seconds, Du Mengnan and the others would take out their mobile phones to check. "Okay." This voice was like the sound of nature. Du Mengnan and the others immediately became excited. They rubbed their hands and stared at the fish pot. The next moment Zheng Min opened the lid of the pot. A stronger aroma filled the kitchen. This aroma made Du Mengnan and the others swallow their saliva. The color of the crucian carp in the pot has turned golden, and the fish soup is milky white, looking like milk. If you want to eat coriander, put some coriander in it. Don't waste the fish soup. Zheng Min nodded, and she looked at Du Mengnan and the others. "Meng, you go to the grape trellis, and I will bring it to you right now." Right here, right here." Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, "Sister Min, give each of them one. Don't serve the fish soup yet." Zheng Min first served one to Du Mengnan. Du Mengnan couldn't wait to pick up a piece. She seemed to have forgotten about the spiny crucian carp and put it directly into her mouth. The next moment, Du Mengnan let out an exclamation. The crucian carp melted in her mouth. She didn't know how to describe the delicious and tender feeling. Du Mengnan had never remembered such a delicious fish. What's wrong? Is Meng Meng stuck by a fishbone? Yuma and the others, who didn't know the situation, immediately put down the crucian carp in their hands and surrounded Du Mengnan. Du Mengnan was slightly startled. She also thought that crucian carp was spiny. She vomited a few times, which made Yuma and the others think that Du Mengnan must have been stuck by a fish bone. However, Du Mengnan discovered that the piece she just ate had no fish bones. She couldn't help but add another big piece, and this time she paid attention. She saw that there were many fish bones like hairs in the fish meat. She carefully put the fish meat into her mouth, trying to remove the fish bones, but then she was stunned. She couldn't feel the existence of the fish bones at all. The fish meat still melted in her mouth, and there was not a single fish bone in her mouth. After swallowing, there is a special flavor left in the mouth. Meng Meng, Umo, this fish bone can be melted away. While talking, Du Mengnan added another piece and put it in his mouth. At this time, Yuma and the others also reacted. One by one, they were busy picking up the crucian carp. They couldn't stop after taking one bite. One fish was completely eaten in less than 2 minutes, and not a single fish bone was left. Down. Get me one. A few minutes later, more than a dozen crucian carp were snatched away by Du Mengnan and the others. Zhengmin also ate one, but Zhao Xinyu, the fish cook, didn't eat any. It's so delicious. I have never eaten such delicious fish. People are talking nonsense. It turns out that crucian carp tastes like this. Umo swallowed the last bite of crucian carp, wiped his mouth and said with a trace of nostalgia. Zhengmin shook his head. Umo, crucian carp does have a lot of spines. I've eaten it before. This is mainly because Xinyu's cooking skills are good. Zhao Xinyu, get a few more, I still want to eat them, Du Mengnan said sweetly, licking her lips. Why don't you drink fish soup? Fish soup tastes good too. When Zhao Xinyu said this, Du Mengnan and the others seemed to realize something. They all looked at the fish soup in the pot. After taking a sip of the fish soup, everyone seemed to be frozen in place. Their eyes were full of disbelief. After just one sip, not to mention the delicious taste, the whole body was filled with warmth and an indescribable comfort. Going down, they felt a sense of ecstasy. Give me another bowl. Gone. Zhao Xinyu, hurry up, make another pot. Several voices sounded in the kitchen at the same time. In the end, more than 20 crucian carp were completely eaten by Du Mengnan, Zhengmin and 6 delicate-looking female generals. Although each of them ate more than 3 pieces, they still felt that they were still unsatisfied. In the end, they drank all the fish soup and they felt satisfied. Zhao Xinyu, leave the crucian carp in luoshui to me. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, Du Mengnan, crucian carp has many spines. Although it may seem simple to make, the heat and the order of adding seasonings cannot be careless. When I first learned it, it took me more than a year to learn it. Du Mengnan and the others were slightly startled, and all of them couldn't help but shake their heads. It takes more than a year to learn a dish. I'm afraid not many chefs are willing to learn it. You get me a few, and I'll take them back and let my grandparents try them. Zhao Xinyu nodded. He originally thought that Hanli and the others would have more than 20 of them, but he didn't want them all to be eaten by Du Mengnan and the others. Even if Du Mengnan didn't say anything, he would still go to Luoshui because only by going to Luoshui could he catch the crucian carp from the spatial lake. After cooking a pot for Du Mengnan and the others took it away. Zhao Xinyu then started to cook for Hanli and others, and at the same time taught Jingmin how to cook fish. The door of a villa facing the sea in Pengcheng was closed. In the courtyard of the villa, middle-aged people with stern expressions were constantly walking around, and each one of them looked extremely strong. In the restaurant in the villa, 7 people were eating, a white-haired old couple. On their left and right sides were 2 middle-aged people in their 50s, and a middle-aged woman who looked to be in her 40s. There are 3 middle-aged men and women, all dressed in high-end clothes. Sitting in the main seat is a white-haired old man. Although he is not young, his body is filled with the unique aura of a superior. Grandpa, Grandma, parents, I'm back. While they were eating, a graceful figure entered the living room, holding an insulated lunch box in her hand. Second uncle, when did you come back? Miaoman's figure was Du Mengnan, who brought fish back from Zhao Xinyu's place. Meng, I just came here for a while. Why is the hotel so busy? That the middle-aged man opposite him shook his head. Shichang, what is she busy with? She doesn't go to the hotel all day long. The hotel is all taken care of by Xiao Jiamin. Du Mengnan chuckled and walked to the old couple. Grandpa, Grandma, look at what delicious food I have brought you. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 35 The Du Family in Pengcheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. The old couple was slightly stunned. Meng, I told you that the food in the hotel is too greasy and we don't like to eat it. Besides, our teeth can't bite ordinary things. Don't waste it like this in the future. Du Mengnan chuckled and glanced at the dining table. Grandpa, the second uncle is here, why don't you give him a drink? Du Shichang was stunned for a moment, then a smile appeared on his face. Dad, you can't have any good wine just for your eldest brother to drink. I am also your biological son. The old man Du Gang glared at Du Mengnan. You're the only one who talks too much, my second brother. That wine is not an ordinary medicinal wine. Your eldest brother only drank it once. I also plan to entertain the old friends who are here. Grandpa, Zhao Xinyu still has several jars over there. I'll buy another jar for you when the day comes. The old man was shocked and said, there are still a few jars left. How much is it? I'll get you the money and buy them all. Du Mengnan sighed faintly. I gave him 100,000 for each pot, but he didn't sell it. In the end, he gave each of us 1 pot for a symbolic 1,080 yuan. It's the 4 little girls you brought back those few days. Du Shichang was a little confused at this time. He didn't sell a jar of wine for 100,000 yuan, but in the end he gave it away. Who was this Zhao Xinyu? Du Mengnan's father. Du Yongchang's eyes flickered a few times and said, Meng, you are so old. Why are you running to a vegetable seller's house all day long? It would be unpleasant to spread this word. Du Gang's eyes narrowed and he looked at Du Yongchang. What's wrong with the vegetable seller? I used to be a beggar, and I don't want to see you people who eat and drink from farmers. In the end, I feel how noble I am and look down on farmers. Du Yongchang smiled and said, Dad, I didn't mean that. Du Gang snorted coldly. Meng, don't listen to your father. As long as he is upright and has good character, you can make friends. Tell me what kind of young man this Zhao Xinyu is and where his family is. What do parents do? The old man looked like he was helping his granddaughter go on a blind date. Du Mengnan blushed and said angrily, Grandpa, what are you thinking? We are just ordinary friends. I order the vegetables in my hotel from him. By the way, they are the vegetables that our family often eats. We eat them during this period. He also grows the watermelons and melons himself. These are crucian carp, but he cooks them and they taste very good. Du Yongchang frowned again. Meng, why are you so ignorant? How can you eat crucian carp with so many spines? You are not allowed to go to that place in the future. Look at how many days it has been. You haven't learned anything else. The farmer's awareness has increased. But just as he finished speaking, he was slightly startled. He smelled an unbearable fragrance. He saw that Du Mengnan had opened the insulated lunchbox, and the aroma was emanating from the insulated lunchbox. Why is this crucian carp so delicious? Give me one quickly. I haven't eaten crucian carp in more than 50 years. Du Mengnan chuckled and got one for his grandfather, and then one for his grandma, second uncle, and mother. Then he looked at his father and said, Dad, do you want to eat it? Du Yongchang glared at Du Mengna fiercely. You've got it all back, why don't you eat it? After adding one for his father, Du Mengnan said with a smile, don't worry, the thorns of this crucian carp will melt in the mouth. Don't be afraid of getting stuck by the thorns. Hearing what Du Mengnan said, the 5 people raised their chopsticks and took a bite almost at the same time. After just one bite, the 5 people were stunned at the same time. Meng, go get the wine quickly. How can such a good crucian carp survive without a few sips of wine? Du Gang shouted excitedly. Dad, this is really crucian carp. At this moment, Du Yongchang's face was full of embarrassment. Just now he said that crucian carp had too many bones and could not be eaten. Now there was not even a single thorn in the mouthful of crucian carp, which made him a little unbelievable. Boss, you are really used to living a peaceful life. You should really learn from Meng. Is this a crucian carp or a sea fish? Dad, this is the best fish I have ever eaten. It tastes much better than sea fish. Du Mengnan was carrying Zui Linglong out, and there was a fish that had been eaten clean by 5 people. Everyone looked at the remaining crucian carp in the insulated lunchbox regardless of their status, their eyes filled with heat. However, when Du Mengnan opened Zui Linglong, Du Shichang's eyes suddenly shrank, and he saw the thick wine mist filling Zui Linglong. This. Du Shichang was completely shocked at this moment. He could make crucian carp that others wouldn't eat into a dish that tasted better than sea fish. Now that he still had such medicinal wine in his hand, he was thinking about what Du Mengnan said in his heart. What kind of young man is Zhao Xinyu? When Du Mengnan poured him a glass, he couldn't wait to take a sip. After a sip, Du Shichang looked at Du Mengnan and said, Meng, take me to find that young man. I want all the remaining medicinal wine he has. As long as he asks for the price, I definitely won't make a counteroffer. The old man Du Gang snorted, this is Zui Linglong, some kind of medicinal wine. I bought those wines just now. Grandpa, second uncle, I'm afraid you will be disappointed. He said he would not sell this wine, and he would keep it to entertain friends in the village. What do rural people know? Du Yongchang said this again. You are not from the countryside, but you made the crucian carp taste like this for me and brewed a fine wine like Zui Linglong. These words made Du Yongchang freeze for a moment, his face full of embarrassment. When he saw his daughter's pretty face that seemed to be smiling but not smiling, Du Yongchang gave Du Mengnan a hard look. After dinner, Du Shichang couldn't help but ask, Meng, call that person and ask if Zui Linglong is for sale. Second uncle, he really doesn't want to sell it. The old man sighed slightly, Meng, you can buy some crucian carp tomorrow. This crucian carp is so delicious. Grandpa, I think only Zhao Xinyu can make crucian carp. He also said at noon that this is how he learned to make crucian carp, and it took him more than a year to learn it. Meng, he has such good cooking skills, why don't you invite him to your hotel? Second uncle, I think so, but he cultivates a yard by himself and hires more than a dozen workers. Each person's salary is 10,000. His monthly income can be hundreds of thousands. I can afford it. It's impossible, a vegetable farmer can have such an income. Du Shichang couldn't believe it at this time. If vegetable farmers were like this, no one would be willing to work and would go back to the village to grow vegetables. Second uncle, don't believe it, just ask my dad. Du Shichang looked at his elder brother Du Yongchang. Du Yongchang nodded with a wry smile, the vegetables that boy grows have a special taste. They don't use any chemical fertilizers or pesticides. The vegetables are good in appearance and delicious. His preserved vegetables are only grown in the village, but in the city people will drive there and wait in line. Did you know that takeaway stalls now have a new service of specifically purchasing vegetables because of their vegetables? Du Shichang was completely confused at this time. A vegetable farmer could grow vegetables to such an extent. This was unprecedented and unprecedented. Meng, your grandma also talked about it yesterday, asking the hotel to get some more roasted pheasants and hares when she has time. Your grandma ate it last time and couldn't forget it. Du Yongchang suddenly remembered something. Du Mengnan chuckled, Dad, the hotel also makes roasted pheasants and hares, but what I brought you last time was not cooked like the hotel. It can't be that boy too. Seeing Du Mengnan nodding, Du Gang laughed, I like this kid, Meng, what about that kid? If you can, take him down. He has such skills. No matter what happens in the future, he can at least eat it. A full meal. These words made Du Mengnan's pretty face turn crimson, while Du Yongchang looked at his father speechlessly. Dad, what are you talking about? Zhao Xinyu, who was eating in the courtyard, suddenly felt his nose itching and sneezed. This made Zhao Xinyu think in his mind that since he got the space, he has not had any symptoms such as headache, brain fever, and cold. He has not felt any symptoms at all. Any discomfort, why do you suddenly sneeze? Xinyu, the taste of this crucian carp is too good. If you catch a batch tomorrow, the sales will definitely be popular. Jingmin chuckled and said, Hanli, it's not the crucian carp that tastes good, but Xinyu's craftsmanship. I tried making a few just now, and the taste was okay, but there were too many fish bones, and I couldn't get away with the kind of fish bones that melt in your mouth. A feeling of, at the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 36 Farmhouse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Xinyu, you really should open a small restaurant. With your skills, it will be difficult for the small restaurant not to become popular. Han Tianliang, Wang Ai, and the others also nodded. Xinyu, Han Li's idea is good. With our vegetables and fish, it would definitely be good to open a small restaurant. Zhao Xinyu smiled bitterly and said, I am taking care of the vegetable plot here, so I don't have time to cook. Han Tianliang and the others nodded, because the vegetables in the compound were in hot demand, and there were many vegetable growers in the village. Like here, they did not use chemical fertilizers or pesticides, but only used farmyard manure. Although the vegetables they grew tasted better than those on the market. It's much better, but the gap between it and what Zhao Xinyu planted is really big. Old farmers like them don't know the specific reason, but they all know that everything is based on the thought that there is Zhao Xinyu. Without Zhao Xinyu, no one would be able to grow such delicious vegetables. It's not like I have a sister-in-law. Although my sister-in-law can't cook crucian carp, she can cook just about the same. Let her be the chef. You can come over often and give me guidance. You can also recruit a few apprentices. The apprentices will be able to get started in less than 2 years. What do you want to do then? Just do whatever you want, Han Li said with a smile. The speaker is unintentional, but the listener is intentional. When Zhao Xinyu heard what Han Li said, his heart moved, and he turned to look at Jingmin. Jingmin blushed and waved his hand. How can I do this? Han Tianliang looked at Jingmin and said, Han Li's suggestion is not bad. With Xinyu's guidance, you don't need to worry at all. But if you want to open a restaurant somewhere, it can't be in a courtyard. Han Jun expressed his thoughts. Wang Yulong laughed and said, Han Jun, don't call you stupid. Your 2 brothers' yard has 6 rooms. Let's renovate the yard. We won't open any hotels or restaurants. Farmhouses are not popular now, so let's build a farmhouse. If the farmhouse is busy, we can still help. The 2 brothers Han Jun and Han Li were slightly startled. They both turned to look at their father. The house was given to them by their father for their wedding. Although they were willing to do so, they had to look at their parents' opinions. This is a good idea. If the farmhouse becomes popular, I can make money to buy a house in the city, Han Tianliang said with a smile. Seeing what Han Tianliang said, everyone looked at Zhao Xinyu again. After all, the farmhouse must have Zhao Xinyu in charge. Without Zhao Xinyu's cooking skills, everything is just empty talk. Zhao Xinyu nodded, okay, let's open a farmhouse. Han Li, you will find a decoration team tomorrow to build the whole yard with colored steel. You will also recruit waiters and apprentices, all of whom are from our village. We will take care of those with family problems first. People, money makes things easier, and in half a month, the farmhouse has been renovated. As for the recruitment of waiters and apprentices, Han Tianliang and the others are in charge. There are 10 waiters and 6 apprentices, all of whom are in poor families in the village. When recruiting waiters and apprentices, an episode also occurred. Although Zhao Xinyu has not been growing vegetables for a long time, he can hire people like Han Jun and Jingmin, and the wages given by each of them are not low. Just say Han. Their monthly salary of 10,000 yuan is the same as that of some people working in offices. Therefore, when recruiting workers at the farmhouse, almost everyone in the village signed up. After selecting these 16 people, many villagers were dissatisfied. However, when Han Tianliang told Zhao Xinyu's thoughts, all the villagers were silent, and those who made trouble had nothing to say. Many villagers who were not familiar with Zhao Xinyu had feelings for Zhao Xinyu, a young man who had not been in the village for a long time. Somewhat favorable, he took care of Jingmin last time, and this time he is taking care of families with poor conditions in the village. This kind of person is what they want to see the most. After more than 10 days, everything was ready, and the farmhouse was officially open to the public. On the opening day, the farmhouse invited all the respected elderly people, lonely elderly people, and village cadres in the village. There were a total of 27 tables and 9 private rooms in the farmhouse, but only 2 private rooms and 10 tables were left. Some customers who came to buy food were curious. After they went to the farmhouse, they sat at 4 tables, because it was the first day of business. The people in charge were Zhao Xinyu and Jingmin, who all helped Zhao Xinyu. When Zhao Xinyu was busy cooking, Jingmin grabbed him. "Xinyu, Meng and the others are here." Zhao Xinyu was startled, then shook his head. He really forgot about Du Mengnan and the others, but now that he didn't have Du Mengnan's cell phone numbers, he was relieved and arranged them in the box. "It's arranged. They want to ask if there is anything special about today." "What's special about it?" "It's home-style stir-fry." As the dishes were served one after another, the farmhouse suddenly became lively, and those diners who wanted to try the dishes were deeply attracted by the dishes made by Zhao Xinyu, so they made phone calls one by one. "Xinyu, it's full outside, but there are still people coming. How about we let the old people in the village squeeze in and make some tables for them?" Zhao Xinyu was slightly stunned. He really didn't expect that the restaurant would be full on the first day of opening. "No, they are all guests we invited, and we must entertain them well." When the plates of crucian carp were served, the elderly people and village officials who were invited were stunned, and many of them felt a little unhappy. You must know that crucian carp has many spines, so crucian carp is not served at ordinary banquets. Now that the farmhouse serves crucian carp to them, they must be a little unhappy, but after they took a bite of the crucian carp, they were all stunned, and then started to eat the crucian carp that melted in their mouths. As for the diners who came over, they had already been attracted by the smell of crucian carp. When they saw the old people grabbing the crucian carp, they seemed to have thought of something. "Waiter, what kind of dish is that? Get us a plate too." When they saw that what was served was crucian carp, which not many people wanted to eat, they were all stunned. However, they still couldn't stand the smell of crucian carp, so they tried to take a bite. After just one bite, they never stopped. Like other dishes, a plate of crucian carp quickly turned into an empty plate. "Waiter, let's have another crucian carp." "Sorry, the quantity of crucian carp is limited, and each table can only order crucian carp once." The waiter's words made the diners stunned. It was really the first time for them to see such a restaurant. It could be sold, but it was not sold. And at noon of this day, the entire Pengcheng circle of friends were forwarding Zhihanling, a farmhouse that opened on its first day. There was no recipe, and the cooking relied on the ingredients the chef had on hand. Every dish was extremely ordinary, but this seemingly ordinary dish made them taste delicious food. As for the crucian carp, it has aroused people's heated discussion. The spiny crucian carp melts in your mouth. Not to mention the delicious taste of the crucian carp, you don't even need to spit out the fish bones. The accompanying crucian carp soup is even more delicious. After one sip, it seems that even the tongue wants to swallow it. Go down. While people were talking about farmhouses on the internet, Zhao Xinyu, Han and Du Mengnan returned to the compound, and everyone's faces were full of exhaustion. There were too many guests at noon. In the end, Han and Du Mengnan were all busy, but even so, they were still a little busy. Back in the compound, Zhao Xinyu cut a watermelon for people. Looking at the tired people, Zhao Xinyu felt a little regretful. He regretted opening this farmhouse. After eating a few mouthfuls of watermelon, Du Mengnan glanced at Zhao Xinyu and said, "Zhao Xinyu, there will be more people at night. You should take a rest quickly. We can't help anymore. We are exhausted. We are going back. You'd better be there again. Find some people from the village to help." Hearing what Du Mengnan said, Han and the others started to cry. They initially asked Zhao Xinyu to open a farmhouse because they wanted to increase Zhao Xinyu's income, but they did not expect that the business would be so booming. No way, Zhao Xinyu was slightly startled. Whether it is possible, you will know in the evening. After Du Mengnan and the others left, Han and the others complained that they were tired. They didn't move at all and just lay down under the grape trellis, snoring slightly. Within a few minutes, at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Zhao Xinyu and his party went to the farmhouse. After passing by, they were all stunned. They saw that there was a queue of several hundred meters in front of the farmhouse, and there were a lot of guests behind it. Keep coming. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 37 No Recipe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. When the door of the farmhouse opened, the private rooms and tables were all full, and there were still many people queuing outside. In the kitchen, Jingmin looked at Zhao Xinyu and said, "Xinyu, what are you cooking with so many people?" "Home-style stir-fry, Sister Min, you can make it too, and I'll stew crucian carp for them later." The ingredients were already there, and the two of them started working at the same time much faster. However, when the home-cooked stir-fry was served, it immediately aroused dissatisfaction among the diners. Most of them came here for the farmhouse's stewed crucian carp, and this was now being served to them. What was served was ordinary meat-fried green peppers, meat-fried beans, etc. How could they accept it? "Waiter, bring me the menu and we'll order our own dishes." "Sorry, we don't have a menu here," was the reply to all the diners who wanted to order. This made several tables of diners very dissatisfied and they slammed the door and left, but as soon as they left the house, someone immediately filled the place. When they thought that they came here to taste the delicious stewed crucian carp that was said on the internet, they found that there was no place for them. Those diners who had resentments in their hearts and did not leave felt lucky. They had no choice but to take a bite of the home-style stir-fried dishes brought to them by the waiter. After taking one bite, they were all stunned, and everyone's eyes were full of shock. Homemade stir-fry can be made at home, not only in a restaurant, but the home-cooked stir-fry they were eating now was different and tasted better. The most common green peppers, eggplants, and beans were made so delicious that they couldn't help themselves. On Rondu's table, the home-cooked stir-fries that were just served were all eaten in an instant. When they called the waiter again and wanted to order the same stir-fry, the waiter ruthlessly told them again that they didn't order dishes here. They felt aggrieved, but they couldn't bear the temptation of delicious food. They could only wait, thinking about what dish would be next. Potato floss. When they saw that the next dish was shredded potatoes, all the diners were speechless. However, after they took a bite, their dissatisfaction instantly turned into strength. They couldn't help but raise their chopsticks and reach for the plate. Many diners, because I moved a little slowly, after taking a bite, I found that the shredded potatoes were gone and there was only an empty plate left on the table, garlic mashed eggplant. Every dish uses ordinary ingredients, but the taste of each ingredient is unbearable for them. Although they are dissatisfied, all the dishes are snatched up within a few minutes. In the end, many diners really forgot that the main purpose of their trip was to taste the stewed crucian carp that was circulated on the internet, and they were completely immersed in the dish that didn't seem to have much distinctiveness. As a unique aroma filled the air, almost all the diners raised their heads, and then their eyes lit up, and they realized the purpose of their coming. When they tasted the stewed crucian carp, there was only one voice in the whole farmhouse, which was admiration and surprise. When they wanted to order another stewed crucian carp, they were ruthlessly told that each table could only order one dish of stewed crucian carp, and the farmhouse did not allow waste. What made them even more unbelievable was that when the diners finished their meals and went to check out, the farmhouse charged half of what they expected, and the price of each dish was much lower than that of restaurants in the city. With the reputation of the diners, the farmhouse is even more known by the diners. Many people come from other areas by car in order to experience the dishes of the farmhouse, where there are no recipes and everything depends on the chef's face. Seeing that the farmhouse is overcrowded every day, Zhao Xinyu is also very distressed. Although he has Jingmin's help during this period, he still does not have any time to read at the end of the day. This is how the diners queuing outside the farmhouse have to wait every day. Long time. Grandpa Han, there should be cooks in our village. Please discuss with them. If they are willing, let them open a farmhouse nearby. The ingredients they need can be obtained from us, but there is one thing we must tell them. They cannot cheat. Customers, if we defraud them, they will never buy our ingredients at low prices. In the next few days, 7 or 8 farmhouses opened one after another. There were vegetables grown by Zhao Xinyu. Although the taste was not as good as Zhao Xinyu's farmhouse, the taste was much better than many small restaurants in the city. In addition, the price was low. It is expensive, and these farmhouses are also overcrowded. For a time, some people with poor economic conditions gathered together, and their first choice was the farmhouse in Zhihanling. The establishment of the farmhouse gave many people in the village something to do, and their pockets gradually bulged. When many people working outside heard the news, they also rushed back to start the farmhouse. Hanling became lively. With the increase in farmhouses, Zhao Xinyu has become less busy. Although his income has dropped a lot, this is what Zhao Xinyu wants to see. He was born and raised in a rural area. He knew that when people in the village had nothing to do, they would often do things that made the villagers feel ashamed. If there is money to be made, such things will not happen. This is also his original intention, to let the villagers start a farmhouse. Then the carp, herring, grass carp and even the chickens, ducks and geese in the compound began to be sold in Luoshui, and the business of the farmhouse and Pengcheng hotel became booming again. After this period of preparation, although Jingmin is not yet able to stew crucian carp, the taste of other farm stir-fries is almost the same as Zhao Xinyu's, and a few people who follow the apprentices can also stir-fry, which frees Zhao Xinyu. After coming out, every day he just went to the farmhouse to stew crucian carp, and left everything else to Jingmin and the others, because the chickens, ducks and geese raised by Zhao Xinyu and the freshwater fish in Luoshui were so delicious. The chickens and ducks raised by the villagers became a hot commodity, and the prices of freshwater fish sold on the street also rose. This was also Zhao Xinyu's reason. Xinyu had not thought of the consequences. Zhao, I'm really convinced. How long did it take for your fish to grow to such a big size? I heard it tastes good. What method did you use? The boss who delivered the fish once again delivered a fish this day. Fry fish in the truck, he asked in surprise as he looked at the fish in Luoshui. Then what's the solution? Just work harder. These fish are all fed with vegetable leaves. The boss shook his head, and suddenly his eyes lit up. He saw a river crab the size of a sea bowl digging a hole on the shore. Why are these river crabs so big? The boss said in a daze. He is a breeder and knows that river crabs can grow up, but he has never seen river crabs grow to such a big size in such a short period of time. As he said this, Zhao Xinyu also saw river crabs crawling on the shore, and then he remembered that he had also bought a batch of river crabs when he was breeding them. The boss drove away in a truck. Zhao Xinyu took the net and fished out the river crabs on the shore. Returning to the compound, he caught more than 10 crabs in other areas. When he returned to the compound with the river crab, he saw Du Mengnan and the others whom he had not seen for a while. Zhao Xinyu, what are you talking about? Du Mengnan stared at the bucket in Zhao Xinyu's hand and said softly. River crab. Du Mengnan and the others curled their lips. They all knew that river crabs tasted like mud. Because Pengcheng was near the sea, they only knew about river crabs, but they had never eaten them. Seeing the changes in Du Mengnan's and others' expressions, Zhao Xinyu just smiled faintly and said, Meng, you cut a melon, and I'll make river crabs. You guys can try them later. A few people ate cantaloupe and watermelon and sat there bored. Umo stood up and looked over at the simple room. I'll go over and see how Zhao Xinyu's river crabs are doing. Meng, Yuma said that she has a crush on Zhao Xinyu. You should keep an eye on her, otherwise your husband will be snatched away by Yuma, Lu Ruoshi said softly. Xiao Shi, you are looking for death. Du Mengnan blushed. Because they often come here, Du Mengnan and Zhao Xinyu are very close. Many times they have fun with Du Mengnan and Zhao Xinyu, and whenever they talk about Zhao Xinyu, Du Mengnan is full of laughter. With a shy face, several people realized that Du Mengnan was already in love with Zhao Xinyu, but Zhao Xinyu was just a fool who didn't understand the amorous feelings. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 38 All Excellent Products. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Du Mengnan and the 5 of them arrived at the kitchen while making noise. When they approached the kitchen, the 5 of them were slightly startled. They smelled the fragrance of crab roe. When they entered the kitchen, several people saw that Zhao Xinyu had just pried open the back shell of a river crab the size of a sea bowl. The scent of crab roe just now came from the river crab in Zhao Xinyu's hand. The 5 people came from unusual backgrounds. They all knew that the scent of sea crabs was very weak, but now Zhao Xinyu just opened a river crab, but they smelled the scent outside the kitchen, which instantly reminded them of this guy's stewed crucian carp. Are you going to eat alone? Du Mengnan said coquettishly. She walked to Zhao Xinyu and took the river crab away from Zhao Xinyu before he could speak. After taking a small bite, Du Mengnan's delicate body trembled, and there was a hint of horror in his eyes. The crab roe had no muddy taste at all, and it tasted even more delicious than sea crabs. With a hint of horror, Du Mengnan took out a crab leg and bit into it. She was immediately shocked. There was enough juice in the crab leg and the taste was even more unbearable for her. The hard crab legs and people's eyes break into pieces with just one bite, absorbing the juice in the crab legs, and they are reluctant to spit out the broken bones. Meng, how does it taste? The 4 Yuma people just nodded when they saw Du Mengnan, and all they could hear was the sound of Du Mengnan biting into pieces of crab legs. This made the 4 of them instantly understand that the taste of this river crab must be extraordinary, otherwise Du Mengnan would not have stopped talking to them. Give me one. Yuma and the others rushed toward Zhao Xinyu, but their eyes were fixed on the huge river crab in the steamer. In just over 10 minutes, more than a dozen river crabs were eaten clean by Du Mengnan and the others, leaving only a pile of broken bones on the table. Zhao Xinyu, how did you make the river crab taste like this? It's so delicious. Make some more. Umo walked up to Zhao Xinyu and shook Zhao Xinyu's arm in a coquettish way. Umo, aren't you afraid that some people will be jealous? Lu Ruoshi said with a cute smile. Zhao Xinyu smiled faintly and said, I'm going to take a look. Even if Sister Na is not here, I can't guarantee how many I can catch. Nearly 20 minutes later, Zhao Xinyu returned to the grape trellis, shaking his head. He shook his head at Du Mengnan and the others who were full of expectations. River crabs are so cunning. I didn't catch any this time. If you want to eat them, you can only eat them. Wait until Hanli and the others come back. Suddenly, Zhao Xinyu saw a hint of purple out of the corner of his eye. He looked up and saw that several bunches of grapes had turned purple. Grapes are also grown in space. Zhao Xinyu has tasted grapes, and the taste is not comparable to the grapes sold in the market. Looking at Du Mengnan and the others who were full of disappointment, Zhao Xinyu chuckled. He walked over and picked a bunch of grapes. These grapes are ripe, why don't you try them? Du Mengnan and the others were also stunned. They really didn't notice that the grapes were ripe, but thinking that the grapes that had just turned purple should be very sour, they were not very interested, but they were still nostalgic for the river crab just now. Seeing that Du Mengnan and the others were not very interested, Zhao Xinyu did not speak. He picked all the purple grapes and went to the kitchen. After washing them out, he put the grapes on the table and said, "Have a taste. When Han Li and the others come back, they will have river crabs to eat." Du Mengnan, who was bored, reached out and picked one and put it in her mouth. The next moment, she was slightly stunned. She looked up at Zhao Xinyu, who was smiling, and her pretty face blushed slightly. Although the grapes are a bit hard when pinched, they melt in your mouth. Even the skin of the grapes turns into a stream of sweetness. After entering the stomach, a chill instantly spreads throughout the body. Sensing the unique taste of grapes, Du Mengnan couldn't help but pick another one. This time she finally felt the taste of grapes. It was as sweet as honey, with a hint of sourness. It was really the first time for her to eat such grapes. Arrive. Meng, sour or not? Delicious, really delicious. With Du Mengnan's words, Yuma and the others started immediately. A few bunches of grapes were eaten clean in a few minutes. At this moment, they had forgotten about the river crabs and were completely immersed in the wonderful feeling of the grapes. Without the grapes, several people got up at the same time, and they and Zhao Xinyu went to look for purple ripe grapes. The grapes are ripe. Because there are not many in quantity, Zhao Xinyu has no intention of selling them. In addition to their daily food, Zhao Xinyu also has an idea, which is to make some wine. River crabs started to be sold, and the farmhouse became even more popular. He taught Jingmin how to make river crabs. After they were able to cook river crabs, Zhao Xinyu intentionally or unintentionally went to the farmhouse less. Because Zhao Xinyu didn't go to the farmhouse, the diners could only look at it. Turning to other fish and river crabs, Zhao Xinyu was free again. After Zhao Xinyu was free, he began to study the essence of the golden chamber again. Every time in the dead of night, he would put the fish in the space into Luo Shui. In the space, all living things are thriving. Although Zhao Xinyu picks a large number of vegetables from the space every day, the vegetables growing in the space are not affected at all. In addition to the original vegetables and herbs, Zhao Xinyu also planted all the crops he bought from his hometown. After continuous reproduction during this period, these crops also formed a certain scale. The century-old wild ginseng had already bloomed and produced fruits, and dozens of small wild ginsengs appeared around the old wild ginseng. These small wild ginsengs were all bred from the ginseng seeds that Zhao Xinyu picked up, the first pair of strange birds to be picked up. Jin Hen and Jin Yu can now spread their wings and fly in space, but the two guys are too big, and Zhao Xinyu cannot take them out of the space. In the past, Jin Hen and Jin Yu's lives were basically fish in the lake, but things are different now. Many times they should change their taste and catch pheasants hidden in the sour bushes. The pair of pheasants caught by Zhao Xinyu and their offspring have given birth to flocks of pheasants. They can be seen in the entire space at any time, so many times they become golden marks and golden feathers. Food. The number of pheasants in the space continues to increase. Zhao Xinyu often thinks about how to make Han Li and Du Mengnan take out the pheasants without doubting them. Even if they cannot be sold in the farmhouse, they should at least appear at your own table. Going into the mountains, Zhao Xinyu thought of a feasible way, that is to go to Kailiang Mountain, at least let Jin Hen and Jin Yu appear in front of Han Tianliang and the others. With Jin Yu and Jin Hen, pheasant can serve to your own table. When Han Tianliang and the others heard that Zhao Xinyu was going to enter the mountain, Han Tianliang's eyes shrank. Xinyu, don't read those reports. Kailiang Mountain is not accessible to ordinary people. There are many tigers and leopards in it, and there are even more wolves. In the past, villagers went into the mountains for livelihood reasons. Now that conditions are better, who is willing to take risks in the mountains? Wang Aa nodded. In the past, villagers often went into the mountains, and they all had weapons in their hands. But now the country has confiscated all hunting weapons. If you encounter tigers, wolves, etc., there will be dangers in large numbers. A few years ago a group of traveling friends went into the mountains, and there were quite a few of them, more than 20 people. But after entering, they encountered a pack of wolves and injured 7 or 8 people. I heard that 3 of them died of their injuries in the end. Xinyu, we have nothing now, so why do we have to go to the mountains? My father and others are right, the mountains are too dangerous, so we should not go. Zhao Xinyu chuckled, I'm preparing to brew medicinal wine, but I still lack a few herbs. The quality of these herbs in herbal stores is too low, and they can only be found in the mountains. I'm just looking for them on the edges. I don't go into the depths. Besides, there aren't any. Black Wind, hearing Zhao Xinyu talk about himself, Heifeng, who was lying on the ground, stood up and growled at Han Li and the others, as if he was complaining about them. Over the past few months, Heifeng has grown to a height of 1.34 meters, and he looks like a calf wherever he stands. Now Heifeng is scary wherever he stands, because Heifeng is in the compound, and those who want to come and buy it are afraid of him. The vegetable people left immediately after seeing the Black Wind. Looking at Heifeng, Han Tianliang nodded, the current Heifeng should have no problem against leopards, but Xinyu, you must remember, never try to go deep into Liangshan Mountain, it is too dangerous. Even the old hunters in the village did not dare to enter the depths of Kailiang Mountain easily. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 39. First time to take Coolness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Kailiang Mountain is not only in the Pengcheng area, it is also a famous mountain range in the country. According to books, Kailiang Mountain stretches for at least 1,000 kilometers from east to west, and its altitude is more than 3,000 meters. For coastal cities, such a mountain range it is already extremely rare. He took Heifeng out early in the morning. Although Zhao Xinyu came to Xihanling for only a few months, although the people in the village knew about it, many people did not know him. However, they had heard the villagers talk about Heifeng. So as soon as Heifeng appeared, even the villagers who didn't know Zhao Xinyu knew who the young man Heifeng was following. Zhao Xinyu accepted greetings from many villagers along the way. Heifeng seemed very reserved before entering the mountain, but after setting foot in Kailiang Mountain, Heifeng's true nature was revealed. He kept darting in and out of the grass and shrubs, and the birds that roost kept flying, with Heifeng accompanying him along the way. Zhao Xinyu didn't feel lonely. He often looked at Heifeng's cheerful appearance, which was also a visual enjoyment. Suddenly, Zhao Xinyu saw Heifeng stop suddenly, crouching down, staring at the grass not far away, and moving slowly. Zhao Xinyu saw the fierce light in Heifeng's eyes for the first time. After crawling for more than 10 meters, Heifeng's body suddenly moved. His huge body was as fast as a cheetah, and there was no feeling of being sloppy at all. When Black Wind appeared again, Zhao Xinyu saw that he was holding a 5 or 6 kilogram hare in his mouth. The hare kept struggling, but the extent of the struggle became smaller and smaller. When he ran to Zhao Xinyu, the hare is no longer struggling. Throwing the hare into space, Zhao Xinyu patted Heifeng's big head a few times, his eyes full of surprise. He also knew that hunting was the nature of beasts, but Heifeng was able to capture a beast in his first shot. A hare, this is what Zhao Xinyu did not expect. Well done, we can improve our lives at noon. Heifeng growled at Zhao Xinyu a few times, swung his big tail, circled around Zhao Xinyu a few times, and then disappeared into the grass. At first, Zhao Xinyu could still see the mountain road full of weeds, but after walking for 3 or 4 miles, there was no longer any road. There were weeds and shrubs everywhere, and in the distance, there were lush green forests and towering forests that blocked the sky. Obviously, few people have set foot in this area, even people from the village rarely enter. After entering the ancient forest, Zhao Xinyu harvested a few kilograms of wild mushrooms and 7 or 8 Chinese medicinal herbs, turning his head to look in the direction of Shihan Ridge. Shihan Ridge was already vaguely visible. Zhao Xinyu's heart moved and he brought Jin Hen and Jin Yu out of the space. The next moment the two big guys appeared. They shouted loudly at the same time, fluttering their wings and flying into the sky. In the end, Zhao Xinyu could only see two small pale golden dots in the sky. Seeing Jin Hen and Jin Yu flying farther and farther, Zhao Xinyu's heart shrank. He suddenly thought of a question, that is, whether Jin Hen and Jin Yu would return to the mountains and never come back. Thinking of this, Zhao Xinyu was inevitably a little disappointed, but thinking about Jin Hen and Jin Yu, they originally lived in the mountains and forests. If they didn't come back, they would be considered returning to nature, and they would be doing a good deed. Just when he was lost, two loud cries came from the sky. Zhao Xinyu looked up and saw Jin Hen and Jin Yu appear in the field of vision again. Although they did not come back, they could at least be seen. Although he didn't know whether Jin Hen and Jin Yu would return to him, Zhao Xinyu's disappointed heart felt better after being able to see them again. Suddenly, the black wind not far away roared, which attracted Zhao Xinyu's attention. When he arrived at the place where the black wind roared, he saw dozens of dead trees with scattered trees covered with water. Beady black stuff. Wild fungus. Zhao Xinyu couldn't help but get excited. Last time he picked up dead wood with bacteria in the mountains of his hometown. So far, many of the fungus they eat are dead wood from space. Now that he saw the dead wood containing the bacteria, he would definitely not let it go. It took Zhao Xinyu nearly an hour to bring all the dozens of dead wood into the space. Just when Zhao Xinyu wanted to leave, Heifeng roared at him again. Zhao Xinyu was slightly startled. When he turned to look at Heifeng, he saw Heifeng standing in front of a wooden stake. There is a fan-shaped purple fungus the size of an adult's hand on the wooden pile. Zhao Xinyu's eyes narrowed and he lost his voice. Ganoderma lucidum. In traditional Chinese medicine, ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum are two rare things. Although ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum are now sold in traditional Chinese herbal medicine shops, almost all of them are artificially grown. Wild ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum are not worth much even if they are old. If others would have picked the Ganoderma lucidum and taken it away, Zhao Xinyu had that unparalleled space. Instead of collecting Ganoderma lucidum, he dug up the dead tree stumps by their roots and put them into the space. Having just brought dead wood containing bacteria into the space, he dug another tree stump. Zhao Xinyu also felt a little tired. He simply found an open space and picked up a lot of dead branches in the jungle. He grabbed Heifeng. The hair was disemboweled, cleaned with yoga space water, and then marinated with seasonings. Follow the same steps to make a fire. When the fire dissipates and only the essence fire remains, Zhao Xinyu puts the hair strung with branches on the fire. As time passed, when the oil dripped on the fire, the aroma of meat began to spread. Zhao Xinyu applied a handful of seasonings to the hare's body. Instantly, a strong fragrance began to spread, and Heifeng, who was lying next to him, drooled at the corner of his mouth. It flowed out instantly, and within a few breaths, there was a pool of Heifeng's saliva on the ground. After applying a handful of seasonings, the aroma of the meat became more intense. Heifeng, who was lying on the ground, suddenly stood up and let out a low roar. Zhao Xinyu was stunned for a moment, and then two strong winds blew by. Jin Hen and Jin Yu fluttered down beside him. Both guys' eyes were also staring at the brown hair. Zhao Xinyu was certainly excited when he saw Jin Hen and Jin Yu coming back, but when he looked at the hair in his hand, which was only 4 or 5 kilograms, he wouldn't let the 4 of them share the food, even if it was all given to one of them. Eat enough. Perhaps sensing Zhao Xinyu's intention, Jin Hen and Jin Yu whispered a few times to Zhao Xinyu, and the two guys spread their wings and left at the same time. As soon as Zhao Xinyu removed the roasted hair from the fire, Jin Hen and Jin Yu turned back. When they landed, there was a roe deer weighing more than 30 kilograms in front of Zhao Xinyu. Looking at the breathless roe deer, Zhao Xinyu couldn't help but be stunned. Roe deer is different from pheasants and hares. This roe deer is a protected animal specified by the country, but now it was captured by Jin Hen and Jin Yu. Shaking his head with a wry smile, he began to dismember the roe deer, then cleaned and grilled it on the fire. More than 2 hours later, a roe deer weighing more than 30 kilograms and a hare were completely eaten by Zhao Xinyu, Heifeng, Jin Hen, and Jinyu, leaving only some leftover bones on the ground. Thinking that roe deer is a protected animal, Zhao Xinyu found a place to bury all the bones and fur deep in the ground, and then cleaned up the scene, looking at Jin Hen and Jinyu again. Zhao Xinyu patted the two big guys who were about 1.23 meters tall and said, "Try not to catch these things in the future. It's a bit troublesome to pack them up." The two guys seemed to understand Zhao Xinyu's words, nodded to Zhao Xinyu, then fluttered their wings and left again, and quickly disappeared. Then Zhao Xinyu vaguely heard the long calls of Jin Hen and Jinyu. After getting up again, Zhao Xinyu also discovered that in the area where Heifeng took him, the chirping sounds of Jin Hen and Jinyu could be heard every once in a while, and many times, two big guys could even be seen. This made Zhao Xinyu seem to understand something. Jin Hen and Jinyu were not leaving, but helping him find a safe path. At first, Zhao Xinyu was still wary of wild beasts. After feeling the meaning of Jin Hen and Jinyu, he completely relaxed. Unknowingly, he had entered inaccessible areas, and his gains in these areas continued to increase. In the end, I don't even know how many herbs were collected. When he came out of a jungle, Zhao Xinyu found that the sky had darkened, and his eyes shrank slightly. He had no intention of spending the night in the forest this time, but now it was getting dark. Thinking that it would take several hours to pay back the money and it would be midnight when he returned, he simply took out his cell phone and wanted to call Han Li and the others, but found that there was no cell phone signal in the area where he was. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 48 First Glimpse into the Door. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Unable to contact Han Li and the others, Zhao Xinyu was helpless, but he also knew that danger always existed in the jungle. Seeing that the sky was getting darker, he began to look for a place to sleep. Although he has never slept in the mountains, his grandfather taught him many tips on living in the mountains when he took him into the mountains when he was a child. When night fell, Zhao Xinyu found a place to camp. Under a broken wall, there was a depression of tens of square meters. The depression was slightly higher, surrounded by only weeds and had a wide view, which was perfect for camping at night. After clearing away the weeds around the sunken area, Zhao Xinyu picked up a large number of dead branches. When he was collecting 10 dead branches, Heifeng, Jin Hen and Jinyu caught 4 pheasants and 2 hares. After grilling pheasants and hares and eating them, Zhao Xinyu, who was camping in the forest for the first time, was not sleepy. He added some dead branches to the fire. Zhao Xinyu raised his eyes and looked around. He saw the darkness and the rustling of the jungle below the high ground. He raised his hand and touched Heifeng lying next to him. Zhao Xinyu's heart moved. He thought of those ancient martial arts masters in movies and TV shows who could fly into the sky and escape from the earth. If he were as powerful as them, he would not be afraid of any wild beasts in such mountains and forests. Thinking of this, he suddenly thought of the Hongmeng mantra left by his grandfather. When he was a child, he was weak and his grandfather taught him fitness methods, and the methods seemed to come from the Hongmeng mantra. Could it be? He immediately took out the Hongmeng scripture in the space and turned to the first page. After just a few glances, the familiar feeling came to his heart again. Taking a deep breath, Zhao Xinyu formally read the contents of the book for the first time, and then he was stunned. He discovered that what his grandfather taught him at the beginning was just fragments of it, and he only needed to read the things recorded in the scriptures that he had not practiced before. The places are connected in series to form the complete Hongmeng scripture. This discovery left Zhao Xinyu completely stunned. Why did his grandfather select a part to teach him instead of teaching the Hongmeng Sutra in order? Movies and TV dramas often say that if you don't practice the exercises step by step, you will go crazy. Why didn't you go crazy? This surprised him. Shaking his head and putting everything aside, he focused on the place he had never practiced before and began to practice according to the method taught by his grandfather. Zhao Xinyu spent the whole night studying the Hongmeng Sutra, and in the early morning of the next day, when a glimmer of dawn appeared in the east, Zhao Xinyu let out a breath of turbid air, and then a trace of joy appeared in his eyes. In one night, he practiced a section that he had not practiced before. This section connected the two separate sections that he had practiced before. He could feel that his body became lighter than before, and black impurities appeared on the surface of his body. At the same time, he felt a faint flow of breath in his body. This reminded him of what his grandfather once said. Many masters of ancient Chinese medicine had internal power, and it was by relying on internal power that they were able to make Chinese medicine glorious for countless years. Nowadays, there are very few Chinese doctors who truly have internal power. This is also the reason for traditional Chinese medicine. One of the reasons why it declined and was surpassed by Western medicine. Now that there is a weak flow of air in his body, this is a sign that he has cultivated his internal strength. What is this Hongmeng Sutra? Why doesn't Grandpa tell him and teach him step by step? After thinking about it for a long time, he still couldn't figure it out, but Zhao Xinyu knew that his grandfather left the Hongmeng scripture behind, probably because he wanted to give himself inner strength and let Chinese medicine rise again. Heifeng, Jinhen, Jinyu, let's go. Knowing that the Hongmeng scripture can help him cultivate his inner strength, Zhao Xinyu has no intention of staying in the mountain. The reason why he went into the mountain this time is actually to make Jinhen and Jinyu accepted by Han Li and the others. Now the goal has been achieved. And Han Tianliang specifically told him that the danger factor in the mountains was too high, and he was unwilling to take risks himself. When he came in, he collected most of the medicinal herbs in the areas he passed, so he went back much faster. In the afternoon of this day, he saw Shihan Ridge. Zhao Xinyu raised his head and looked at Jinhen and Jinyu hovering above his head. Remember what I said, you will go back in a few days. You must be careful in the mountains. I will go back first. In the courtyard, Han Tianyang kept walking around. His expression was very solemn, and he looked in the direction of the door from time to time. Suddenly the door rang, and a black shadow rushed in from the outside. Seeing the black shadow, Han Tianyang let out a sigh of relief, and his solemn expression became relaxed. Xinyu, why are you back? If you don't come back, we plan to organize the villagers to go into the mountains to find you. Grandpa Han, when I came back yesterday, I encountered 2 injured big birds. I treated them, but it was too late. I didn't go far, just outside. Han Tianyang nodded, that's good. Don't go in. You're exhausted. You go take a bath and have a good sleep. I'll go to the preserved vegetables. Han Li and the others are worried about you. In the following period, Zhao Xinyu never went to the farmhouse again. The farmhouse was all handed over to Jingmin. Although Zhao Xinyu's stewed crucian carp was no longer available, there were delicious river crabs, herring, grass carp and domestic chickens, ducks and geese. The farmhouse business is still booming. When Zhao Xinyu was alone in the compound, he was practicing the Hongmeng mantra, connecting the unconnected Hongmeng mantra, and the aura in his body became stronger and stronger. After practicing every day, impurities would appear on his body. Although Zhao Xinyu didn't know whether he had cultivated his internal strength, he could feel that his body was changing every day, and his body became more and more agile and his thinking it's also becoming clearer and clearer. However, I also encountered some problems in the process of practicing the Hongmeng Sutra. My grandfather used to teach me, but now I have to explore by myself whatever I have not learned before. Many times, it takes several days or even more to practice one of the fragments. More than 10 days, although practicing Chinese medicine is boring, he has been accustomed to it since he was exposed to Chinese medicine since he was a child. After all, studying Chinese medicine is also boring. His grandfather once said that if he can't stand the boredom, there is no way to become a qualified Chinese medicine doctor. On this day, Han Li and the others, who wanted to eat stewed crucian carp, called Zhao Xinyu in advance and said they would be back at noon. At noon, while eating under the grape trellis, several people looked up at the sky at the same time. They saw 2 large birds with almost pale golden wings appearing in the sky above the compound. The big bird also held 2 fat hares in its talons. Look, what kind of bird is that? Why is it so big? Han Tianyang put down his chopsticks, took a few glances at the big bird, and said thoughtfully, this seems to be what the older generation calls the golden eagle, but the golden eagle doesn't seem to be that big. Look, they're coming down. In the surprised eyes of Han Li and the others, two big birds landed in the courtyard. The black wind in the courtyard rushed in front of the two big guys and kept roaring at them. This made Han Li and the others who followed them. What was even more surprising was that they could tell that Haifeng seemed to know these two big guys. Xinyu, what are you going to do? Han Li and the others saw that Zhao Xinyu also walked towards the two big guys, but the two big guys did not fly away, but tilted their heads to look at Zhao Xinyu. They are the big birds I rescued in the mountains that day. The next moment, something that shocked Han Li and the others happened. Zhao Xinyu walked up to the two big guys. The two big guys spread their wings and patted Zhao Xinyu a few times. They could feel every blow. Cool breeze. After patting Zhao Xinyu a few times, the two big birds whistled at Zhao Xinyu a few times, then flapped their wings and flew into the air, quickly disappearing into the vast Kaoyang mountains in the distance. Xinyu, when we are developed, they say that raptors are spiritual. Look, this is their gift in return. From now on, we can eat game every day. If we sell these two golden eagles, we will definitely fetch tens of thousands. Zhao Xinyu frowned and said, Han Li, can you say something nice? The golden eagle is a first-level protected animal. You are trying to get me into trouble. Han Li laughed and picked up the 4 hairs on the ground. I can improve my life at night. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises.